All right. So, where do I begin? Where do I begin? Uh, let's go back to the beginning. So once I knew that this was going to be a race, Zallard and I are both preparing. Zallard is making progress much faster than I am, and as I mentioned previously in this, I did not have enough time to practice that I wanted to. Um, so I did something that I would never do, and I actually had some strategies of my own. Typically, in the speedrunning community in general, nobody keeps strats to themselves. It's not something that you do, okay? And I would never advocate anybody that you would do that. But in this scenario, I knew because of what was going on that I was not going to get nearly as much practice as Zallard. And quite frankly, I didn't want to get my ass kicked. I wanted to have some kind of chance. I wanted to give myself a chance of winning the race. And the only way that I felt I could do that, because I couldn't match him in practice, he was going to get at least like probably 30 to 40 hours more practice than I was. I had to figure out some strategies that he wasn't going to know. So I had to do it. And if I had to do it over again, I would, because it's a special circumstance. It's not like we're competing for world record and I'm withholding strats, or this is a one-time event. It's a one-time race. It's only going to happen once, and then once we do it, like the strategies are going to be made available. I also want to say, in my defense, because I'm sure some people are not like, they may not like what I did. I would want to say that I did share a lot of strategies, okay? I just didn't share all of them. I shared a lot of strategies with Zallard on Tyson especially, and some other strategies that he actually ended up using in the run. So, Brody, keeping it real, dude. Second month in a row, Brody, legit sub confirmed. Not a one and done. Not a one-hit wonder. Brody is here to stay. 2 months. Thank you, Brody. So my focus was on, I knew that that Zallard was going to use the buffer on Honda 1. And that was going to be a big area of focus for me, because I knew that if you could beat Honda before a minute, if there was a way that you could find to do that reliably, that would be a huge time gain. And that would give me an advantage, the advantage that I needed. Another reason, I know I sound like I'm just like justifying this, and partially I am, because it does go against what I would normally do. Like I said, I've never been one that's hid strategies or not. I'm always going to share everything that I find. So this was something different for me that I haven't done before. So Honda 1, I knew that was like a big tipping point, is if I was able to do this, if I could find a way to pull it off. And nobody had done either. Like Zallard hadn't figured out a way to do it. Jack Wedge hadn't figured out a way to do it. Nobody had figured out a way to do it. So I had to do it on my own too. And I also had to hope that Summoning Salt, who's here in the chat, didn't do it. Because Summoning Salt was coming out with strats here and there, and I was like, oh man, if he finds something on Honda 1, or if he finds what I found on Honda 1, that's going to be bad for me. So anyway, I found this buffer strat on Honda 1 that worked really well, and I was super confident. Worst case scenario, I was going to TKO Honda at a minute 2 when he does his bonsai attack, and I was going to gain like 20 seconds on Zallard. And another reason why this is important is because if Zallard were to get the luck on King Hippo, and I didn't, then he would basically negate what I did on Honda 1. So that was another reason why I was like, this is fine, because, chances are Zallard will probably get that luck in the race and I won't, because have you guys seen Zallard's luck on King Hippo? If you have, then you know what I'm talking about. Like, King Hippo just automatically opens his mouth anytime Zallard shows up. Turns out it didn't happen that way in the race, but that was it. So that was one area of focus. The other area of focus that I tried to do was figuring out something for Mr. Sandman, because nobody was able to figure out a way to reliably dodge the Dreamland Express in phase 2, all 3 variations. So I actually found a way to do that. And Summoning Salt actually, I guess, found a different way to do that. So we found 2 different buffers, and he found his like at the last minute though. I knew mine probably like a week before the marathon. The problem is that I did a little more research into Mr. Sandman, and it turns out that even with my perfect buffer that dodges all 3 Dreamland Express patterns, it only works some of the time because Sandman has a very unique counter for his attacks. So every fighter has an attack counter that counts down from a number to 0, and then once it gets to 0, that's when they do their attack. But with Sandman, he has 2 different event counters, and that screws everything up. So, long story short, I figured that out, and then there was also, I did figure out a perfect strategy that you can skip the Dreamland Express altogether. The problem was, with that strat, that if you got the big refill, you were doomed. You couldn't get him if you got the big refill. You'd be very close, but you couldn't get him. And there's a 25% chance of getting the big refill. I was not willing to take a 25% chance on that, because if you get hit by the Dreamland Express, you can still win in round 1, as long as you don't get the bad refill. So I was willing to take that chance. Another thing I found was on Don Flamenco 2. I can't even say it with a fucking straight face. I had a superior strategy to Zallard on Don Flamenco 2, which I'll explain when we get there in the fight. But for right now, let's just say I found something that was a little better than what he was doing. Moderately, but it made a big difference. And then finally, the final piece of the puzzle, I had actually asked D. Tysonator, the guy that has beat Tyson in round 1, blindfolded, only person that's ever done that. No one else has done it. I asked him for help. I was like, dude, I need you to be my Doc Lewis, man. I need you to help me out with something. So the day, I think it was either the day or 2 days before I left to go to the marathon, D. Tysonator hits me up and he's like, I got something for you. And he tells me a strat, which I'll show it off. I don't know that I'll have time to do it tonight. I've showed it off on stream already once. It basically ensures that you will beat Tyson in round 2 in 2 minutes or less. Guaranteed. Regardless of refills, regardless of luck, anything. It's a guaranteed strat. It's a fucking stone cold lock. It's beautiful. So he gave me the basics of the strat. I made a few adjustments to it. And between the two of us, came up with something that was just, it was monster. It was a monster strat on Tyson. The only problem was it was risky. There was some serious risk involved in this strategy. So what happened was, I figured that if I was behind, I was going to use it. If I was ahead, I was going to use the safe strategy. And originally, this is something that most of you don't know. In fact, probably none of you know. Zallard and I had agreed, at my suggestion, that we be allowed to have 3 peaks each. So at a time in the race where we were not actively in a fight, so say during a cutscene or a blue screen in between fights, we would be allowed to peek and look at the other player and see where they were. The reason that I wanted to do that is because I thought it would make for a better race. Because if you know that you're ahead or behind, you can change some of your strategies in some of the fights to take a few more risks and gain time. Because most of our strategies were pretty safe. But we both know more risky strategies. We just didn't want to do them in the marathon. The marathon organizers weren't real keen on this idea. They didn't reject it. They said, okay, if you want to do it, but maybe there's another way we can do this. So they kind of tried to come up with some different ways where, like, we would hear it through our headsets, or Miles, who was sitting next to me, like, he was going to tell us. There was a couple different variations on it, but the thing was that we couldn't really come to a consensus and nobody was happy with, nobody was able to agree on a single option. Um, so, and ultimately, I knew Zallard, he didn't really want to do it that much. Like, he was kind of like, whatever, dude. I mean, I can do it, I can not do it, I don't care. I was really the one that wanted to do it more or less. So, I just kind of said, fuck it, let's not do it. Let's just skip it. Because the thing was that one of the concerns was that we were worried, even if we explained it, that people would be like, oh, that's cheating, or oh, you're not doing blindfolded anymore, or, there was going to be some kind of thing that people just they didn't accept the run because of that. And I know it might sound a little silly now in retrospect, but I think it's fine that we decided not to do it. I mean, I would have made some different decisions in my run if I had been able to peak, and Zallard might have too. I don't know. It could have altered the course of the race, but there's no way to definitively say what would have happened if we could peak or not. I mean, the outcome could have been exactly the same. There's no way to know. So we ended up scrapping that at the last minute. And we were ready to race. So it was just going to be a straight up race. We get in there. We had to figure out, okay, what is the setup? What's up, Zallard? I just explained the no peaking. So I need to get into this run soon, guys, because I gotta end this stream around 9 o'clock. So the sound setup, basically, we figured out that we had the crowd cheer really loud, and we figured out that that would not work at all. We could not hear game audio at all, and they had the game audio turned way up. Thank you, Leon, for 10 months, baby. That's what's up, dude. Much appreciated. Sub hype. So basically, we ended up having to say, okay, the crowd. Oh shit! What did I do? We had to say, okay, the crowd can't. They can't, cheer until the end, until both players are done. So that was that. The only thing that we didn't test was we didn't have the commentators talk. We didn't have the commentators say anything. So as soon as the run started, I very quickly realized that I was like, oh shit, I can hear everything the commentators are saying, and it's distracting me. I'm gonna fucking lose. So you're not gonna see it when I'm doing this replay right now, but if you noticed in the VOD, I was kind of going like this. And what I was doing is I was like, people thought I was trying to pump up the crowd, or I was like, yeah, I'm number one, or whatever. No, I was like, turn up the volume. And thankfully, the tech people understood that that's what I was trying to signal, and they turned up the volume in my headphones. So I had to do that a couple times to get it up. I got it up really loud. I got it up to the point that pretty much it was hurting my ears. But I had to make a choice. I was like, I can take this pain right now of my ears, or I can take the risk of, that sound of hearing the commentators' voices is going to make me do, it's going to throw me off my game. So I said, all right, eardrums be damned. We're going hard. So let's get into it. Here we go. It's Glass Joe. It's time to get down to business. Nice Garbutts. The blindfolds are going on. I appreciate that, Clage. Thank you, dude. Yo, D Tysonator is here, man. This is the guy that came through. We'll come back to D Tysonator in a bit once this run actually goes to Tyson. So I was feeling pretty good right now. I remember at the beginning of this run, before the race, I came into the room. I had done like my pregame routine. Zallard had to do his thing. I just kind of listened to some music on my iPod, chilled out. I got into my own space, just got myself really calm. And as soon as I walked in the room, I saw none other than Mike Uyama. And I wasn't expecting him. I didn't know that he was going to be there. And I was like, oh my God, Mike. And I was like, dude, I just like went up and fucking hugged him. And I was so happy. I was like so happy to see Mike. And I I was like, all right, I feel good now. I feel really good. Which I was worried. I mean, you guys know, I told you everything earlier. My practice had not gone well. I hadn't had nearly enough practice. I wasn't consistent. There was a ton of issues. And there was, the chances of me finishing the run were not that great, to be honest. I had legitimate concerns. This wasn't just like, oh, I'm being nervous. This was like, I'm really in deep shit. Like, I need help. I need help, and I need it now. So everything went fine on Glass Joe, obviously, for both Zallard and I. By the way, I'm on the left. Zallard is on the right. So Zallard with a small lead right now. He probably just got better luck on the counts and whatnot. So he has that little lead. And we both get our phase 2. So this is where I have my first mistake of the run. So interesting note, when the volume is turned up as loud as I had it turned up, there's actually some very subtle sound effects in the game that you really don't notice if you're playing it on a television. There may be like an extra note at the end of a sound effect that's like a couple frames long, and you don't know it. So that kind of threw me off a little bit, and I think that's why I made the error on Von Kaiser there. So Zallard taking a little bit more of a lead. So this is where I knew, I was like, all right, man, I got this, dude. This is my strat. I was a little nervous, though, guys, because this isn't a 100% guaranteed strat. It's very high percentage, but I knew that if this doesn't go well, I'm going to be in deep trouble. So as soon as I hit that first punch, I was, like, so relieved. I was like, okay, I didn't get punched in the face. Worst thing that can happen now is, I'll get him down a couple times and have to do the 1 minute charge thing. So I get my first knockdown. As you can see, I've taken the lead over Zallard already. Like, he had a decent lead there. I'm already ahead now. I get my second knockdown right there. He gets his second knockdown. Honda's already up for me. And I think I messed up here a little bit. I should have got him down. Yeah, I should have got him down before he did the charge. That was actually a mistake on my part. A little bit of an execution error, but nonetheless, you can see I've got a pretty good lead off of the Honda fight. So I told you guys that was my main thing, was that the lack of practice. The only way that I was going to have any chance of winning this race was to do these strategies. So that was it. So at this point, I know I'm ahead. It's a guarantee. Like, I don't need to peak. We got rid of the peaking thing. I don't need it because I already know that I'm ahead right now. So I'm kind of just like right now, just kind of focusing like, all right, let's make sure I get this one fight at a time. And next up is Don Flamenco. Don't mess this up because I've messed up this buffer strat before. I was actually feeling confident going into this fight though, and the reason being is that the volume was so loud, because one of the hard parts about this fight is you can't hear Little Mac's dodge sound very well because Don Flamenco's uppercut sound is so damn loud that it covers up Mac's dodge sound, and you need to hear Mac's dodge sound so you can know when to repress left. But with the volume up so loud, I was able to hear it easily, and of course, I was able to get the frame perfect star. Zallard, he invented this strategy. Like, there's no way that he was ever going to miss this. Obviously, he gets it. Easy peasy. Easy every time. So right now my lead is, let's see, it's about a 10-second lead, I think, roughly. Yo, Butters, what's up? Yep, that's right. This game is too easy for Zallard 1. He should be banned because he's overpowered. So Hippo, I was hoping for an open, and I think I got a little trigger happy because I actually messed up and did a quick dodge on my final one, and it looks like Hippo was going to open, sadly. So I just cost myself like 10 seconds there. But, I mean, I get to do the normal strat, so that was on me. I think I was feeling a little bit of the jitters, marathon jitters, and I blew it, but the good thing is I was able to recover because I actually lost count at one point with Hippos, with my hearts, and I had to do a blind dodge. double blind. Because I was blind, obviously I can't see, and I was blind not knowing where my hard count was. So I just did a blind dodge, and it was at the right time. Thank God. So Zallard actually had a bit of a mistake in his hippo fight, though. I think he might have done a quick dodge or something like that. So he actually had to do an extra cycle. So I take an even bigger lead at this point. No way for me to know that. I mean, I think I still have like my Honda lead at this point, maybe less if he got the lucky thing. Like, I'm still thinking we're pretty even at this particular juncture. So I'm like telling myself, just take it nice and slow, nice and easy. This is Gray Tiger. You just go slow. You do you do your quick dodges. It doesn't have to be frame perfect. You have room for error. Just take it easy and beat him. This is an easy fight. So thankfully I got the first knockdown. I got my 2 stars behind, and I kind of felt some relief here. There it is. Zallard, of course, not making any mistakes. Whoa! 2 years of my man Breakdown, who's commentating this race right now as we speak. Except for that I have the volume turned off. Dude, Gold Glove Elite status. Breakdown. He's the man. You know it. That is what's up. Alright, so Bull. This was another area that I had an advantage, was with Bull, because... Two-year hype, dude. So I had an advantage here because I had a different strategy than what Zallard had. And I actually messed it up a little bit. However, that block there is key because it lets you know exactly where you are in the fight. So I know exactly where I am at this point. There is nothing that can derail me except for execution errors at this point. I get a 49-second knockdown. Zallard is going for the more difficult strat, I believe. I didn't see exactly what happened with him. But he ends up getting a decent knockdown there as well. He actually gets a 47, which is better than what I got. But I end up going in with 1 star. He goes in with 1 star as well. I'm not sure if he knows that he has the 1 star. Let's see what he does. Yep, he knew he had it. But he doesn't get a 2nd star. Oh, Zallard gets a little lost there, actually. But he gets rolling jabs, which is pretty lucky. So I end up getting a little bit of a better... He gets double rolling jabs. That's bizarre. Well, that's actually a delicate. I think that's where I got the idea, because I remember you told me that a long time ago. And so that's the whole reason I experimented with blocking to begin with. Was I was like... I remembered that you said that. So shout outs to you, man. Yeah, double rolling jabs. How did that even happen? So I've got a pretty decent lead at this point. I don't know that. Again, I don't necessarily know that. I know that I'm probably in the lead, but I don't think it's like a big lead at all. I think I'm just like, okay, things are going well. Just got to keep doing my thing. You know. Buffer strat here. This is the scariest buffer strat in the game because if you miss it, you are in very, very deep doo-doo. You've done absolutely no damage to this guy, and you might not get him down. So thankfully, I'm able to manage it. And this is like a big sigh of relief here. I was just like, thank goodness. Thank goodness. Zallard gets it too. If you miss it, basically what you have to do is you have to wait till 2 minutes and hope that you get it manually at 2 minutes. And it's not easy, trust me. Because look how many hearts Zallard and I both have. We only have 6 hearts. So so here we go with Soda. I actually had a better strat with Soda, but it wasn't it wasn't the most marathon safe, so I went for a pass. I didn't use select, neither did Zallard. Technically, it's better to use select against Soda so that you can take a quick knockdown, because when you take a knockdown, you can immediately knock him down. But it's a bit risky. I'm not going to go into all the details why, just you're going to have to trust me. So I end up getting decent Soda luck there. I get a couple knockdowns reasonably quickly. I had another strat here where I can take an intentional hit, but I don't think I ended up doing it. Yeah, no, I didn't do it. I knew I was a little bit low on hearts, and now I wish I would have, now that I'm seeing I'm getting these hooks. So this was a sick read by me. I just made a sick read that he had thrown an uppercut there instead of a hook. You really don't know for sure. But I made the good read, and I got my TKO. Meanwhile, Zallard, he's in trouble. Zallard takes the intentional knockdown so that he can actually go ahead and get. So now you'll see this is why you take intentional knockdowns against Soda. Now, against Bull, this is where I make my first big error. So there's a buffer strat here that I'm supposed to do, but again, just like I did on King Hippo, I do I quick dodge too quickly. Let me talk about this for just a second. This was my downfall in this race, you guys. Quick dodging too quickly. The problem with quick dodging is that you can actually press left up. That's the way that you quick dodge, left up. You can actually press that button combination too quickly, and your quick dodge will not happen. You'll just do a full dodge instead. Most of the time you'll do a quick dodge, but if you're too fast, and I guess I had the adrenaline pumping and I was too fast, so I quick dodged too quickly. My quick dodge didn't come out and I got punched in the face. Hey, you better look, Zallard. I have to look at the next fight. You gotta look at this one. So I took the intentional knockdown there, obviously, and that's because I knew I can get Bull down pretty quickly afterwards. And then I think I'm going to make the same mistake again here, going for the buffer strat. As you can see, Zallard is struggling pretty bad. So that was supposed to be a normal dodge, but I did a quick dodge, so I didn't get it. So now I'm just reacting. At this point, this is totally reacting. There is no, I have no idea what's going on. I'm just I'm going to react mode, basically. So this is going to be tight because he took a really long time with both of those bull charges. Look at the time. It's 220. 220. Now, I don't know it's exactly 220, but I know it's pretty far into the round. And I know that if I mess this next part up, that I'm not beating him in round one. And I have to assume that Zallard, who's gone 14-0 like a champ in the practice room, like it's nothing, is going to get it. So thankfully, I don't mess this part up. I get my round one, and I'm like, okay, good. I'm still on pace. Zallard's probably caught up to me by now. It's still a close race. I got to make sure I do this right on Don. Of course, I didn't know that Zallard was actually rematching Bull right now. No idea. No idea that that's what was happening. So Don 2 now is my nightmare. This is where I want to look away from the screen, but I can't do that. So you're going to open the fight against Don 2. You're going to do a full dodge, and then you're going to do a quick dodge. All right, full dodge, quick dodge. I want you to watch what happens to me. Full dodge. We didn't even do a second dodge. A second dodge didn't even fucking happen. I got hit. So this was my plan. If I got hit against Don Flamenco 2, if you get hit against him, you're probably going to round 2. So it's actually faster to just take the loss immediately and restart the fight, because it's that easy of a fucking fight that you should just take the loss, restart, and beat him in round 1 and kick his ass. And that's what I was going to do. I was like, this is cake. This fight is so fucking easy. Apparently it's not that easy. So this is my nightmare. Zallard still on Bull 2. I don't know that, but I think I at least get the decent opening here. Don 2 is going to screw me a little bit with some of the timing of what happens. So as you can see, he blocked there. That he should not have blocked that. He should not have blocked that. He did. A Delicate can expound on this a little bit more, but he doesn't always do. Look at the timing, dude. Really? Like, he shouldn't have been able to hit me there. Just everything went wrong. I should have blocked there. Everything is going wrong at this point. Everything that could go wrong is going wrong. And I'm on tilt. I am on just stone cold tilt right now. I don't know where I am in the fight. I didn't think about his energy being this low. If I had known, if I had been just not like, not struggling so much, I would have realized that his energy is a little low. I would have known, hey, I've already hit him with a star punch. So I would not have done this knockdown. This knockdown is basically what spells the end of the run for me. Run's over, dude. Run's over. If I didn't do that knockdown, I still win this race. That's the bottom line. But Don is just going to troll me the rest of the way. He's never... Look at this. He's just not even throwing uppercuts. And then he gets me into this. And then this is the worst part. So against Don 2, you can only take 3 knockdowns across the entire 3 rounds. If you take the third knockdown, you can't get back up. So this is already the first knockdown. I can get knocked down one more time, and that's it. And you get shitty refills against this guy, too. So the best part about being knocked down is that he's going to throw 8 consecutive punches, all of which you can counter for good damage, and you get a star, which you get to hit him in the face. But look, 257. So you know what? We don't get any of that. We get none of it. We get none of it. So we're going to round 2, and he's got basically full health. At this point, I felt like I had lost the race. I'm not going to lie. I was like, it's over. It's over. I'm done. I need to just try to finish this run, and, that's the best I can do. Hey, Jack. So again here, I'm still so amped up because I'm so on tilt that you can see my quick dodges are not coming out. I'm not quick dodging here. Look at that. I'm not quick dodging. See? So I'm just getting normal hits on him. I can't even do clock stop. I finally did get something fast there. I could have done clock stop, but it really wouldn't have helped at this point. So that's the first knockdown of the round, dude. You want to be getting your second knockdown of round 2 at around 1.5 minutes. Then I can just take intentional damage and crush him. But I'm at a point that there's literally nothing I can do at this point. Even if I had done clock stop here, I still don't believe that I would have been able to get him in time in this round. So then he goes into this phase. I'm already just getting wrecked again. So this is the thing about Don 2. I told you that he's so easy. I didn't really even practice for what happens if I get hit. I just was going to take the intentional loss and I was going to kick his ass because he's that easy. I never counted on getting hit 2 fights in a row by Don 2. And like I said, I was already really short on time for practice. I didn't have time to go into deep practice in all the fights, and I wish I would have. I could have even just done my old strat from AGDQ 2014, and I would have been fine. But not even the AGDQ 2014 strat, so now obviously you can see it's going down. Zallard is demonstrating how easy of a fight this is. So the other advantage that I was talking about that I had over Zallard is I had a guaranteed way of getting the star there. So you can see Zallard did not get a star going into phase 3. I had a guaranteed way of getting a star to go into phase 3, but that would have required me to actually not get punched in the face, which of course happened multiple times. So Zallard actually, I think he messes up on. He's still feeling a little bit of nerves, I guess, there. So now you can see what I can do to Don after the knockdown. So check this out. You get all these stars. You just light him up. Boom, he's down. So this is still pretty close, though. I actually ended up getting a random star. You're guaranteed to get 1 star from Don when he does that, but I got 2, and it really paid off because look at this. My health is pretty low, and you do take damage when you do those blocks. It probably would have been really close if I wasn't able to. So finally we have the last couple fights here. Mr. Sandman. Zallard is now in the lead. Chances of me catching up are not great. I would basically have to have a lot of things go my way. And as you guys are going to see, they don't. Things go Zallard's way very much from here on out. Yo, Jin with the 23-month hype, man, dude. A lot of resubs in this stream. Thank you, guys. Sub hype. So there's not much to say about Sandman other than Zallard had actually come up with a different buffer strat that seemed to work for the Dreamland Express, which you're going to see Zallard do it first. And it doesn't work for all three patterns, but it works for two. And I think they're the two more common patterns for whatever reason. That's just what I think. I could be wrong. But you can see Zallard did it there, and he was able to get the dodge. And then I'm going to do it as well. So, still a close race at this point. At this point, it is still anybody's game. So I get the dodge as well. But there's one big difference that's about to happen. Zallard gets a 3 count, and he gets the good refill. Guess who doesn't get a 3 count? Yep, that's right, it's me. Guess who gets the bad refill? Yep, you got it again. It's me. And the fake get up just to rub it in. Just to rub it in a little bit. There's my 8 count. There's the bad refill. So between that 8 count and the bad refill, that probably cost me a good 10 seconds. So, not looking so good for Sinister at this point. Of course, not that I know that. I'm assuming that Zallard's already beaten the game at this point, so I'm just like, let me just finish, please. Please, God, just let me finish the game. And ironically, I think Zallard was thinking the same thing, because he had such a tough time with Bull, he was probably thinking that, I can't win. So, both of us are thinking that we can't win, and Zallard is about to get the God luck on Macho. And he makes a good read. You can basically read, once Macho does 3 fast punches in a row like that, then you got him. And Zallard gets him down very quickly. Doesn't soft lock, which is good as well. You're going to see the pattern that I get is not what you'd call favorable. So first of all, he doesn't do a hook for me to lead, which is terrible. That's bad luck. Then he starts doing too many hooks. And then I am going to soft lock here. I did recognize the pattern, and then somehow I guess he did a really short mini spin delay. So I soft locked the game. I knew I soft locked here. I was pretty confident that I did. And then I ended up getting hit because he did some wacky delays. And then I get him down with a gutter, which is terrible. That's like the worst thing that could have happened, getting him down with that gutter. Because now I have to punch him in the face to get a star. Like, there's no way that I could hit him with a star. My only other option there would have been to just not punch him at all, which I didn't really like that option. So I went for the star punch because I have nothing to lose at this point. I don't think I should have done this 9 count in retrospect. It really didn't gain me anything. I probably should have not done it, but Zallard had a God fight, so he's pretty much got this thing in the bag at this point, unless the unthinkable happens and he either loses to Tyson or goes to round 3. That's pretty much it. And yes, we had Miles sitting there to reset. He had both consoles in front of him, so if either one of us soft lock, because we knew there was a high chance of soft lock, so we were like, we got to set it up so that we can make sure that we're prepared for that to happen. And it was just, you got to raise your hand. So I get Macho in 2:14, which isn't a great time. You want to get sub 2 on Macho. Like I said, I had pretty bad luck. Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong since Don Flamenco onwards. You do gain a little bit of time, A Delicate. We talked about this, but we didn't want to have a situation where we would just automatically reset when you beat Macho, because we thought that would be stupid and people wouldn't understand it. So we were both willing to concede that if one of us soft locks, they get the reset and they gain the 2 seconds or whatever you gain from not having to sit through the cutscenes. It's pretty close though. It's not a big difference. So Zallard gets through round 1 with no problem. He actually has a really good round 1. He's got Tyson damage pretty low, very low actually. The reason you guys didn't know about soft lock is because it never comes up in a single segment. Like, I don't think you could even mess up and get soft locked in a single segment. It would. I don't know what it would take for it to happen in a single segment run, but in Blindfolded it can happen pretty easily because you basically just need to skip Macho's mini spin. So Zallard is cruising. He gets his first knockdown, and he's gonna play it pretty safe. He gets the bad refill here, but the bad refill is not really a problem. I'm surprised he's actually going for these quick dodges here. There's another strategy where you can drain your hearts a little bit more. So now I'm on into round 2. Zallard getting the second knockdown. At this point, it's all but over. I mean, I can't even imagine a way that Zallard screws up and goes to round 3 here. So this is where I could have done something different. I want you guys to watch my side of the screen. Zallard's just going to win now. Watch my side of the screen. What I could do here is you can actually hit 7 of these gut shots, but I don't. And instead, what happens is the worst nightmare possible. I dodged. Look at that. Look at the fist. How am I not getting punched in the face right now? So I do this dodge, which is like the worst conceivable thing you can do, because if you get hit during this opening phase in round 2, you're basically dead. Like you're probably not even gonna make it to round 3. You're just gonna die. Like you're gonna be so screwed. And then if you do make it to round 3, you're still not gonna win. So this was like the moment of sheer terror in my run. But somehow I like actually managed to realize how many hearts that I had, and then I went immediately into my dizzy mode so that I could just do the buffer on Tyson. And there we go, Zallard finishing it off. He wins. 219. He looks over and he's shocked. He's like, what? All right. So at this point, I'm feeling like, okay, I can do this. I have 3 stars. I'm probably going to get the bad refill. And then I miss the first punch somehow. So I'm like, how is this happening to me, dude? No, please. No, I had everything lined up. This is not how it's supposed to go, man. Just please don't do this to me. So I skip the minute 30, and then I get knocked down. So I lose my only star, dude. It's over. It's over. It's over. I'm dead. There's no way that I can win right now. There is literally no way that I can win at this point in time. Okay? It's 1:47 on the clock. I have to get 2 knockdowns in less than a minute and 13. I have a minute 12 to get 2 knockdowns. So I get the star. Obviously, I'm going to get the first knockdown right away. Tyson's going to give me an 8 count because why not? Why not give me the big refill? I needed a challenge today. I really did. So just as a side note, this is true for both Zallard and I. Even Zallard, with all the practice that he did and everything, round 3, you're probably not going to win, okay? Me, Zallard, Jack Wedge, D Tysonator, nobody can be consistent in round 3. Doesn't matter. You're probably not going to win. Some people might be a little bit more consistent than others, but chances are you're going to lose. That's just the way it is. You can't fucking go to round 3. So here we go. So I'm able to get the buffer, thank God. I'm able to get the star right away. I drain my hearts. And I know that it's late in the round. And I know that there's only one way. There's only one way that I can not go to round 3. And that one way is I have to hit a frame perfect punch while I'm blindfolded. And I will not go to round 3. So I go, and I know it. Like, I'm doing these punches right now, and I'm just like, I have to hit this. I have to hit this. Because you have to hit it frame perfect. So I'm coming down. And look at the time, guys. Look at the time. It's 2:42. Okay. If I don't hit this punch, if I don't hit this frame perfect punch, guaranteed going to round 3. Guaranteed dead. And it's a tragedy. We're looking at a tragedy. But you know what? Sometimes the magic happens. You hit the fucking frame perfect punch and you knock Tyson the fuck out. In the marathon, blindfolded. We did it. Zallard 1 and I both beat the game and everybody's happy. I was just like so happy. I'm like, yes. Just such relief. Like I don't think people knew. Like I think the only person that really knew that star was frame perfect was Zallard. He was probably the only one that was like, holy fucking shit. Besides me, and maybe some people that were watching, but that's it. That was the only way, man. That was the only way that it could happen. Is I had to hit that frame perfect star. So even though I lost, I felt so good about the way that I finished my run, because I mean, what else can you do? What's a better way to go out than to get a frame perfect star and hit it? I still had to hit Tyson with it too. I was like so shocked that I actually got it, that I like almost didn't dodge in time, or I almost dodged at the wrong time and got like punched or blocked. So so that was it, man. Tyson went down, dude. Tyson went down, and everybody just went nuts at that point. Everybody just went nuts. Zallard and I were just like kind of talking like, man, awesome job, dude, great job. We were congratulating each other because we were both kind of nervous before the run started. I think I was more than Zallard, about actually being able to finish. But like I said, I mean, obviously I wanted to win this race, but if you're gonna lose, what better way to possibly lose than going out on a frame perfect blindfolded star, dude? That's, I mean, it's a miracle. Like, this is reminiscent for those of you that watched all the way back in AGDQ 2013. Go back and watch that run. There's a small miracle that occurs when I beat Bald Bull, and this basically took that to the next level. So yeah, so that was my marathon, guys. That was it.